Well, it finally happened. I finally have a 140 John Deere that runs and drives and is in semi-decent condition. I've been wanting one of these for almost my entire life. Ever since I was a little kid and I got the garden tractor book, I've always wanted one of these. I just love the look of them. There's just something about them that I love. I bought my first of this style last year in September, actually, so a year ago. It was a 120. I didn't know what I had, and I resold it for nothing, really. I just needed the money at that point, but I didn't know that the 120 was so rare. Then I ended up getting a 140 H3, which I still have. I got another 140 H1 and another 140 H1. The final 140 before this one that I got is actually where the hood and the grill and the headlight bezel is from, which are all in mint condition. So that's really cool. So pretty much I picked this tractor up. I way overpaid for it just because I wanted it so badly. Like I said, I've always wanted a 140. I finally found one that ran and drove, and I just had to grab it. The only problem with it as of right now is the relief valve is a little bit well, the relief valve isn't working properly, so when you back up, it kind of jolts you around, but driving forward works perfect. So we'll fix that relief valve problem, and then she'll be a minty machine. So I call her Jane. The reason I named it is because when I name a tractor, I usually get attached to it and I can't sell it. So that's kind of my tactic here, because I love the tractors, but if somebody offered me money on it, if I hadn't named it, and I probably would have sold it. Sounds weird, but it's just the way I am. It is what it is. So this is, I call her Jane because in the description, the guy stated it was a plain Jane 140, which means it's just a mowing package. It's basically a 120. It's got no hydraulic ports on the front, no hydraulic ports on the rear. It's just got the center lift for the deck. So it's kind of a cool machine. It's a 1974, and it is 100% complete as of right now. I have two other things I got to do. I want to move that fuel line to a better spot. And then I also want to do a full service on it. I bought a new filter for the rear end. I bought a new oil for the rear end, new oil for the motor, new spark plug for the motor, going to clean the carb and all that stuff. So she's going to be tip top. I also have a new set of front tires I'm going to be putting on it. I just put those ag tires on the rear. I think that looks really good. So let's take a tour around this thing. So this hood, light bezel, or lack thereof, and the grill are off of my 140 H1 that I have sitting at home. I ran down there yesterday for some other stuff, and I grabbed it and brought it back up here. They're in as good a shape as I could ask for. That hood's in really nice shape. So that's good. So far, two 140s have made one, and even then, I'm just going to sell the other H1 with the cracked hood and the cracked headlight bezel and just mark the price down a little bit. This is also cool because it's got the 3 brake pedals. It's got the 2 steering brakes on this side and the one on that side for the hydraulic return. So that's really neat. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the original turfs in the front, but I got a plan for that. So then, yep, like I said, new ags. This seat, I actually bought a whole tractor just to nab the seat off of it. I bought a 112 square fender. Just a regular manual lift, nothing special, but the seat was in such good shape, I had to grab it. So that's a seat off of that. Very comfortable. I absolutely love this tractor. Until I got this one, I had never driven a 140 before, so I was kind of having a shot in the dark when I, wanted one so bad, but I gotta say, it's probably one of my favorite tractors I've ever driven in my life. So just take a look over here. The usual 140 dash. Still got the decals down there. This is all wiped down with boiled linseed oil, so it looks really good. Pop the hood. So original tank, everything's original in here, original exhaust. Like I said, I'm going to redo the fuel line. I'm going to move the governor to that side, the governor linkage, because that bothers me. Put a new spark plug in it. The battery, I was going to put a new battery in it, but it actually charges and it stays charged. I had to put a new connector on there. Now it charges, which is fantastic. It's all I could ask for, honestly. A hydraulic lift works, so that's good. And you can see how mint this hood is, how mint that headlight bezel and the grill are. It's just fantastic. It steers really good. The steering box has a little bit of play, as they usually do. It seems like a lot, but once you're driving it, it's not really that much. It definitely drives better than my 317. 317, I need to adjust that steering box again, which I'll do before I sell it, obviously, but whatever. So, yeah, I'm thrilled. I can't believe I finally have this thing. I may even end up keeping the other H1 just for parts in case if something goes wrong on this, like the transmission goes wrong or the transmission goes bad or anything like that. I also might see if I can put the front hydraulic hookups on it from that 140. I mean, that one, the fender pan's pretty rough on it, so, and it's in decent shape, but the fender pan's rough. The H3 I'm definitely going to sell. As much as I want an H3, I'm not too worried about losing it because I have this one now. But, yep, so there you guys go. There's Jane, my 140 H1, 1974.